Do you recall the last time you walked through a park, strolled through your garden, or even just crossed the room to answer the door without a single thought about your feet? For so many of us watching right now, that easy, effortless walk is starting to feel like a distant memory. Maybe you've noticed a sharp pinch in your heel the moment your feet hit the floor in the morning. Maybe there's a dull, burning ache by the afternoon, or a quiet fear, a hesitation before you stand. That wasn't there a year ago. And here is what breaks my heart. Most people are being told this is simply getting older. But what if I told you that in 2026, researchers and podiatric specialists are discovering that the vast majority of senior foot problems are not inevitable. They are preventable and in many cases reversible with the right knowledge? Your feet are the foundation of your freedom. And today we're going to protect them. Welcome back to Vital for Later Life. I am so glad you are here with me today. If you are new to our channel, this is a place where we talk about your health with honesty, with warmth, and with real practical tools you can actually use to your advantage. Here is the uncomfortable truth about modern medicine. Your doctor's appointment is, on average, just 15 to 18 minutes long. In that time, they're managing your blood pressure, your prescriptions, your heart health, your feet, the literal engines of your independence, stay tucked away in your shoes, unexamined and unaddressed. But foot health in 2026 is not the same conversation it was even 5 years ago. New research is connecting the health of your feet directly to your fall risk, your cognitive sharpness, your circulation, and your quality of life in ways that are genuinely exciting. So here is what we're covering today. First, we'll talk about the daily foot detective routine that takes just 60 seconds and can catch serious problems before they start. Then we'll decode the silent warning signs of poor circulation that most people miss entirely. After that, we'll demystify neuropathy, the nerve condition that affects far more seniors than just those with diabetes. We'll also give you a simple, at-home, balance strengthening routine. And finally, we'll talk about the footwear revolution, because the shoes you're wearing right now could be quietly working against you. By the end of this video, you'll have a real, actionable roadmap for protecting your mobility, so you can keep doing the things that matter most: visiting your grandchildren, walking in the morning air, and living life entirely on your own terms. And as always, please consult your doctor before trying anything new. Section 1. The Daily Foot Detective Routine. Let's start with the single most powerful habit you can build for your foot health, and it takes less time than brushing your teeth. Most of us wait until something hurts before we look at our feet. We ignore them, honestly, because they're far away and easy to forget. But here is what's quietly changing in foot care in 2026. Prevention is now the gold standard. I want you to think of a woman named Patricia. Patricia is 74, a grandmother of 4, an avid gardener. She noticed a small red spot forming on the side of her little toe, but because she had some reduced feeling in that area, it didn't itch or hurt. She assumed it was a tight shoe and forgot about it. Within 3 weeks, that small spot had become a serious pressure wound that took 2 months of treatment to heal. 2 months out of her garden, 2 months away from her grandkids' soccer games. The daily detective routine exists precisely to stop that story from happening to you. And here is how it works. Every single evening when you take off your socks, I want you to spend 60 seconds, just 60 seconds, looking at your feet. If bending is difficult, use a long-handled mirror or simply hold your smartphone underneath and snap a photo. It's that simple. Here is what you're looking for first. Any redness or swelling, especially around the joints, the heel or the ball of the foot. Swelling that appears suddenly and doesn't go away in a day can signal circulation changes worth discussing with your doctor. Second, blisters, cuts, or breaks in the skin. Even a tiny crack in dry skin at the heel can become an entry point for infection. Catch it early, moisturize it, cover it. Third, changes in skin texture. Is the skin becoming unusually thin, shiny, or paper-like, or are new, thick calluses forming in places they didn't used to be? Both can signal that pressure distribution in your foot has shifted. And fourth, your toenails. Are they thickening, yellowing, or pulling away from the nail bed? These can be signs of a fungal issue or simply of shoes that no longer fit properly. Now, have you ever noticed any of these things and just brushed them aside? You're not alone. Most of us do. But I want you to see this routine not as a chore, but as an act of love for your future self. Your feet are the furthest point from your heart, and they are often the very first place the body quietly signals that something needs attention. 60 seconds tonight could save you months of recovery. Section 2, the silent language of circulation. Now, let's talk about something that your doctor likely understands deeply, but rarely has the 10 minutes to explain to you in a way that actually sticks, and that is circulation. We've all heard the phrase poor circulation, but what does it actually look like day to day in the feet of someone over 55, and why does it matter so much? Here is the biology, simply put. Your heart pumps oxygen-rich blood all the way down to your feet through your arteries. As we age, those peripheral arteries, the ones furthest from the heart, can gradually narrow. This condition is called peripheral artery disease, or PAD, and according to the research published in 2025, it affects roughly 1 in 5 adults over the age of 65. Most of them don't know it. So what are the warning signs that might not be showing up on your last lab report? The first one I call the temperature test. Lie down for a few minutes, then stand up and compare the feel of each foot. Are both feet consistently cold, even under a warm blanket? Or is one foot noticeably colder than the other? Temperature asymmetry. One foot cold, one warm, can be a meaningful early signal worth mentioning to your doctor. The second one surprises most people. Look at the tops of your toes and lower legs. Do you see hair there? When circulation to the skin is reduced, the tiny hair follicles stop receiving enough nourishment and the hair gradually disappears. Many seniors notice this and assume it's just age. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's a quiet message from your vascular system. Does that one surprise you? Drop a comment below. I'd love to know. Third, colour changes. When you elevate your feet, do they turn pale quickly? When you hang them over the edge of the bed, do they take on a dusky red or purplish tone? Healthy feet should maintain a fairly consistent pinkish colour regardless of position. Dramatic colour shifts with position changes can indicate reduced arterial flow. And fourth, what vascular specialists sometimes call window shopper's cramp. Do your calves ache or cramp when you walk a certain distance, but the pain completely disappears the moment you stop? This cramping with exertion and relief with rest is a classic pattern of arterial insufficiency in the legs. Now, if any of these resonate with you, please don't panic. The reason we're talking about this is empowerment, not fear. Circulation can often be meaningfully improved through consistent, gentle movement, proper hydration, and, when needed, medical support. Short, frequent walks throughout the day are genuinely one of the most evidence-backed ways to encourage peripheral blood flow. Even ankle pumps while sitting, simply flexing and pointing your foot repeatedly, keep the blood moving. The goal is not to become alarmed. The goal is to become informed, because a conversation with your doctor that starts with, "I've noticed my feet are always cold and the hair on my toes has thinned," is a completely different conversation than one that starts with nothing at all. Section 3, neuropathy, decoding the ghost. Sensations. This next section is one that I believe is genuinely underserved in most senior health conversations. We need to talk about neuropathy, nerve damage in the feet, because it is far more common than most people realise, and it starts in ways that are very easy to dismiss. Many people believe neuropathy is purely a diabetic condition. And while diabetes is indeed a leading cause, the reality is that age-related changes to nerve health, vitamin deficiencies, particularly B12, certain long-term medications, and other metabolic factors can all contribute to nerve changes in the feet, regardless of blood sugar. A 2025 analysis in the Journal of Geriatric Medicine estimated that some degree of peripheral neuropathy may affect up to 30% of adults over 65. Many of them have never been told. So what does it feel like? That's the tricky part, because it doesn't always feel like pain. A neighbour of mine described it beautifully. He said it was like walking on a permanently bunched up sock, even when barefoot, or like the bottoms of his feet had a layer of foam between them and the floor, that fuzzy, not quite there feeling. Other common sensations include a persistent tingling or buzzing, similar to when a limb falls asleep but never fully wakes up, or an unusual hypersensitivity where even the light pressure of a bedsheet against the tops of the feet feels uncomfortable. But the most important sign, and the most dangerous, is numbness. If you cannot clearly feel a small pebble inside your shoe, or if you could step on something sharp without realising it, or if a bath that's too hot doesn't register as hot, that is a significant safety concern. Your feet are meant to be your early warning system. If that system is offline, injuries can happen and progress without you knowing. And here is the critical link to falls. Your sense of balance relies enormously on something called proprioception, your body's ability to sense where it is in space through the nerve endings in your feet. When neuropathy reduces that feedback, your brain essentially has to guess, and guessing is where stumbles happen. The hopeful news: knowing you have some degree of neuropathy completely changes how you care for your feet. It means the daily detective routine we talked about becomes non-negotiable, because you can't rely on pain to alert you to a problem. It means choosing shoes with extra protective cushioning, and it means telling your doctor specifically, "I'm noticing reduced sensation in my feet," which can open up treatment options, nutritional assessments, and referrals you wouldn't have received otherwise. Have you or someone you love experienced any of these sensations? You're not imagining it, and you're not alone. Section 4. Bulletproofing your balance. Now let's talk about something practical and genuinely exciting, because this is where you take back control. We are going to bulletproof your balance from the ground up. Literally, we're often told to be careful about falling, but careful is not a strategy. Careful is just anxiety with better posture. What we want is strength, stability, and better signals. Your feet contain thousands of specialised nerve endings called mechanoreceptors. Their job is to send constant positional data to your brain, the texture of the floor, the angle of the surface, the distribution of your weight. When foot health declines through thickened calluses that mute those receptors, through long toenails that alter your gait, through stiff joints that reduce your range of motion, those signals get blurry. Think of it like a radio station losing its frequency. You can still hear something, but it's mostly static. Here are 3 evidence-backed home practices to clear up that signal. Number 1, toenail care. This one sounds almost too simple, but it is genuinely important. Long toenails change the mechanics of how your foot strikes the ground. They create pressure against the inside front of your shoe, can alter your gait subtly, and over time shift how your weight is distributed with every step. Keep nails trimmed straight across, not curved, and at a length that doesn't touch the inside of your shoe. Number 2, the tennis ball massage. While sitting comfortably in a chair, place a tennis ball or a firm massage ball, if you have one, under the arch of your foot. Slowly roll it forward and back, side to side for 2 minutes. This does something wonderful. It stimulates the mechanoreceptors in the plantar fascia, the connective tissue that spans the bottom of your foot, and keeps it supple. Think of it as waking up the communication system between your foot and your brain. Many people find that after just a few days of this, the ground feels more solid and defined underfoot. And number 3, and this one might make you smile, the washcloth pickup. Place a small washcloth flat on the floor and using only your toes, try to scrunch it up and pick it up. This activates the intrinsic muscles of the foot, the small deep muscles that most people have barely used in years. These muscles are critical for grip and stability. Weakness in these muscles is directly linked to increased fall risk in multiple 2024 and 2025 clinical studies. Even 10 minutes of these 3 practices, 3 or 4 times a week, can create meaningful improvements in the quality of balance signals reaching your brain. This isn't physical therapy, it's maintenance. It's the difference between a car with regularly inflated tyres and one running on flat. Can you picture trying the tennis ball exercise tonight? I genuinely encourage you to. It's one of the most immediately satisfying things you can do for your feet. Section 5, the footwear revolution. We need to have a frank conversation about your shoes, not about fashion, about equipment. Because your shoes are literally the interface between your body and the world you walk through. And in many cases, that interface is quietly failing you. Here's a fact that shocks most people. Your feet change size and shape as you age. The tendons and ligaments that hold the foot's arch lose some of their elasticity over the decades, allowing the foot to gradually spread, widen, and lengthen. Research suggests that up to 70% of older adults are wearing shoes that are too small or too narrow for their current foot shape. If you haven't had your feet professionally measured in the last 3 to 5 years, you may be a full size larger than you think. Wearing shoes that are too small compresses the toes, increases pressure on nerves, worsens bunions and hammer toes, and critically for balance, prevents your toes from naturally spreading to grip the ground. Your toes are meant to splay slightly when you walk. They are part of your stability system. So what should you look for in a genuinely supportive shoe in 2026? First, A firm heel counter. Squeeze the back of any shoe you're considering. It should resist your squeeze. Stiff, not floppy. A floppy heel counter means the shoe cannot hold your heel stable during the push-off phase of your stride, and that instability travels all the way up to your knees and hips. Second, the bend test. Hold the shoe at each end and try to fold it. A good shoe should only flex where your foot naturally flexes, at the ball. It should not fold in half. A shoe that collapses entirely offers almost no arch support, which fatigues the plantar fascia and impairs balance signals. Third, a wide toe box. Your toes need room to do their job. Pointed or narrow shoes, however elegant, are genuinely problematic for balance and circulation. And fourth, and this is the one that catches many people off guard, your slippers. A significant percentage of falls in adults over 65 happen at home, and a large portion of those involve loose, backless slippers. If your slippers flop around, slip off your heels, or have smooth fabric or thin foam soles, please replace them. Look specifically for slippers with a rubber non-slip sole and a back strap or full heel enclosure. They exist, they're affordable, and they could genuinely save your life. One good pair of properly fitted, supportive shoes is one of the highest return investments you can make in your long-term health. Not a supplement, not a device. I'm just the right shoes. We've covered a tremendous amount today. And I want to take just a moment to bring it all together, because the goal was never to overwhelm you. The goal was to hand you a map. So here are the 3 things I most want you to carry with you after this video. First, your feet are speaking to you every single day through temperature changes, through skin shifts, through sensations both sharp and absent. The 60-second daily detective check gives you the ability to actually hear what they're saying. Do it tonight. Just tonight, start there. Second, circulation and nerve health are not mysteries reserved for specialists. The warning signs are observable, the risk factors are knowable, and the conversations you can now have with your doctor are so much more specific and productive. You have a vocabulary now. Use it. And third, your balance is trainable. Your foot muscles can be strengthened. Your proprioceptive signals can be sharpened. The tennis ball, the washcloth, the right shoes, these are not small things. These are the practices that will keep you walking to your garden, through the grocery store, and into every ordinary, magnificent moment of your daily life. Your feet have carried you through decades, through hard work and celebration, through quiet mornings and family gatherings. They deserve 10 minutes of your care. And when you give them that, they will carry you further than you might dare to hope. I'd love to hear from you in the comments right now. Which one of these 5 topics surprised you the most? Was it the circulation warning signs, the neuropathy numbers, or maybe the slipper safety issue you hadn't thought about before? And if someone you care about, a friend, a spouse, a sibling, is dealing with foot pain or mobility concerns, please share this video with them. We look out for each other here. That is what this community is about. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would love for you to join us. We publish new content every week focused on keeping you active, independent, and genuinely well in the years ahead. And coming up very soon, we're going to talk about the connection between your ankle strength and your fall risk, including one simple test you can do at home right now to assess exactly where you stand. You will not want to miss that one. I'm so grateful you spent this time with me today. Take care of those feet, and I will see you in the next video.